Hi everyone, welcome to this week's reading. This is for the week of the 31st of July through to the 6th of August. So this week in the astrology, the main things are Uranus stations before it goes retrograde. So if you're new to astrology, just to put that in more simple terms, basically the planet Uranus is slowing down from our perspective on Earth before it starts to go backwards from our perspective on Earth, which is called retrograde. So when Uranus goes retrograde, that's a very interesting time, especially if you're someone that's very Uranus ruled. So if you have Aquarius, Sun, Moon or Rising, for example, and also for those people that have natal Uranus retrograde in your own chart, this is a time of really going within yourself. And Uranus is all about authenticity, your own independence, finding what your true calling is, what your true desire is, what you really want to be doing with your life. And for a lot of people, with Uranus going retrograde, and then we have 2 eclipses coming up in August. So I'm just going to mention that because I haven't mentioned it before leading up to it. This is a pretty big deal. These 2 eclipses, one in the sign of Aquarius on the 7th of August, it's not till next week. Wow, that's all about individuality, authenticity, finding a true path in life. So just as I talk about the astrology, I'm going to be shuffling the cards, by the way. So I'm using the my traditional Rider-Waite deck. Wake, that's funny because it's sort of being awake is very much associated with planet Uranus, being perceptive, being aware of what's going on. So back to the astrology, with this energy, Uranus going retrograde, wow, it's very much going within, trying to find that, gaining clarity, gaining clarity. This is going to be one of, sort of the last retrograde and before Uranus then goes into Taurus. So this is a big time of change collectively. It's huge. And now Uranus will retrograde again back into Aries, so it's not finished in Aries, but after this retrograde is completed, then it will go into Taurus. So that's going to be a time of huge change for those people that are early degree Taurus people. Okay, that's not coming just yet, but I will mention that closer to the dates when that starts to happen, which I believe is, I'm going to have to check that actually, because let me see, do I have that info right here? I don't have it in front of me, but I'll put it in the description below the video for those interested. I'm going to put a note when Uranus actually goes into Taurus, because if you're an early degree Taurus, as I said, that's going to affect your life in a huge way. Big changes coming. And when Uranus goes into your sign, it brings a lot of anxiety with it. It brings a lot of intense energy, shake-ups, changes. Things happen, and things, where there has been stagnant energy or a lack of growth or evolution in your life, things will change. Now, I really feel with this Uranus retrograde, there's a lot of positive shifting for people where there's been stagnation for a long time. You felt almost like giving up on situations that you just thought, you'd wondered whether there would ever be some positive change for you. I do feel like there will be positive change, especially if you've got planets that harmonize with Uranus, or signs that, for example, Aquarius or Sagittarius, or Aries, those sort of those people, those signs will have more positive experiences, I feel. And also Gemini and Libra as well. So there's a lot of positive energy coming, I feel, with this retrograde. I want to mention that. The other things that are going on this week are, early in the week, Monday, Venus is at the anaretic degree of Gemini. I always mention when planets are at the anaretic degree, meaning the very last degree, or 29 degrees or 0 degrees. So what this means is, with Venus in Gemini, there's a lot of thinking about relationships going on. There's a lot of thinking about what you want out of relationships, what you value. And Gemini is a very free sign and a sign that needs to keep things moving. Now, because Venus is at the very end of that, it can really peak in those issues to do with one's value of one's freedom in a relationship, communication in relationship, and needing to have more honest, authentic communication in relationships in general. So there's a lot of thoughts about relationships with that. And it does make a sextile to Uranus when it's around the 28-degree mark. So there's something there to do with relationships and authentic relationships that is kind of a fated energy, I feel, that comes up around Sunday, Monday this week. Tuesday, Venus actually moves into Cancer, so that brings a focus to do with family, to do with home life, to do with the past, and there can be memories, you know, coming up of things to do with relationship issues from the past, you know, things that you've needed to heal in yourself to do with the past as we move into Cancer. And it can even be memories of past loves and that sort of thing coming up. That could be another possibility. And the other thing is we have the Jupiter square Pluto going on all week, so that's there in the background. And with the Jupiter square Pluto, it can be, sorry, I just got to get my ephemeris out because I need to check something. That's what that noise is. With the Jupiter square Pluto, there can be sort of a feeling of a power struggle going on between, you know, different elements where you want to grow in your life with where you have stability, and it can be a feeling of difficulty being torn between, you know what, I really want to evolve and I feel the need to grow and push myself beyond this limited experience that I'm having, but the comfort and the status quo can be a source of a very heavy energy that sort of pulls you in and pulls you under, which is a very plutonic experience. And so that can be a difficult adjustment to get to grips with, you know, wanting to make changes in your life, wanting to grow, but getting out of this kind of, this swamp that you're in, this stagnation, this kind of maybe cold comfort for some people, you know. And it could be to do with living situations for a lot of people that need to change, and this is bringing that up this week. Now I just wanted to see, because I had a feeling that oh no, Mercury actually, yeah, so Mercury retrograde actually starts from the 13th of August, so that's not till next week sometime, so towards the end of next, what is it, next week? Yeah, next Sunday. So I just wanted to check that. But, you know, we are leading up to the Mercury retrograde period, which I find actually very interesting as well. Mercury is still in, you know, it's still going to be for a while in analytical Virgo, which is very fact-based, very dry. So what that can do is, it, you know, if you're having struggles with your heart and your mind, it can cause this kind of, you know, I guess it's an ongoing problem that all humans have, is that we struggle between our heart knowing what our heart wants and what the mind is telling us, you know, in a very fact-based way what we need to do. And that can sort of hold us back, so we can be having some struggles with the mind versus the heart as well, I want to say, this week. It's just more of an intuitive thing. Let's have a look at what the cards have got to say for this week from the Rider-Waite, and I'll also pick one card from the Chakra cards. Now, just for those people that might be interested in getting a reading, I've had to close my shop temporarily because I've been really booked with readings, and I am trying to get through them as, you know, quickly as I can. But, you know, still pacing myself, of course, and I'm going to have my store closed for probably another several days. It will probably open Friday, Saturday or Sunday this week. So if you would like a reading, check back with my store towards the end of this week, and it will possibly be opened. And what you can do is you can sign up to be notified that my store has reopened when it has. Okay, so let's see what we've got for this week. I really feel like I want to get this one and the one at the back, and this one here. Oh, the 10 of Wands. Whoa. And the 5 of Wands. Oh, and the Ace of Cups. Oh my goodness. Excuse me for that cough. Oh my gosh. Just drink some water. Okay, so the 10 of Wands shows, you know, this. I think this card came up last week, and we've had it quite a lot. What it shows is a lot of people, a lot of souls are really tired at this time, especially those souls that are empaths. You guys have been through a hard time, myself included. I know quite a number of people actually that are empaths. They've been going through it, you know, and really ever since 2012. And this is the Saturn in Sagittarius card as well, which Saturn is still in Sagittarius, and it's been coming up a lot since we've had Saturn in Sagittarius, I've noticed, the last couple of years. So, wow, it's about feeling very burdened. This is saying you need to take time out to really look after yourself, do something nice for yourself this week, because the pressures and the stress and the conflict, the inner conflict, the struggle, the human struggle has just been immense. Sorry. I don't actually have a cough right now, so I have no idea why I'm coughing. That's so weird. Oh, gosh. Apologies for that. Sorry, I don't edit my videos because it would just take, it's too time consuming, so sorry that has to stay in there. But anyway, I'm sure you understand. Yeah, so with this card, it's about just being in a suppressed kind of state and really struggling with your responsibilities, but also not just responsibilities, struggling with your soul, your soul's contract. You know on some level that you have things that you're meant to do in this life, and you feel sometimes that pressure, like, why am I not at that stage yet? Why am I still struggling? You know, why am I not where I want to be with what I want to manifest in my life, with, you know, whether it's to do with the relationships, whether it's to do with work situations, career, but those important things, you know, those very important things. I'm just going to see if there's any extra messages as I tune into it. I just heard family. So for some people, there's something around family life that, you know, this is the source of struggle. It could be, you know, where you're living, if you're living with your parents, or if you're living at home, or, you know, even the responsibility of being a caretaker of children, you know, being a parent. But for some people, it's just a soul mission. It just feels like a lot of hard work. And just going to see what the advice I'm getting, I feel, with this card is saying that, yes, things are a struggle right now, but, you know, with the Ace of Cups next to it, you're very close to some kind of breakthrough that's very positive and a peak experience for you. You know, the Ace of Cups, yeah, it's often associated with renewal of love and affection and heart-centered peak experiences, falling in love, feeling incredible love for another person. But it can also be a peak experience in another way. It can be feeling that, knowing that you're actually very close to or getting closer to that, connecting with a part of your life that's very fated in a very positive way, and a breakthrough. You know, Uranus retrograde, it can mean that you sort of do the work within, so that when Uranus starts to go direct, you can have that breakthrough. There's some people will have the breakthrough when Uranus goes retrograde, so in the next week or two, or, you know, after that. So, but for some people, there is a new love indicated by this card. You know, as I said, alternatively, this can be, you know, falling in love, getting a new pet and just falling in love with that pet. Or, you know, finding something amazing that you just, you know, wanted to find in life, that even a sense of freedom, or a sense of getting in touch with a part of yourself that you've lost connection with, you know, that can be the other side of it, because you've been struggling so much. But there is hope here. It's saying something's coming in this week. It's a feeling, you know, it's not so much a mental knowing, it's more of a feeling of getting connected to something that you miss in life, feeling connected to something that you wanted to feel more of a connection to. So it's very deep messages this week. And let's see with the chakra insight oracle lastly before I finish, what extra message there is to go with the tarot cards. I really love these cards. I find they're quite multi-layered with the messages. Ooh, oh, this one just flung itself out. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's the Dreams card. Wow. I don't know, this looks familiar. It might have come up for a client that I had recently, or I don't know if it came up even in last week's reading. I'm not sure. I actually cannot remember. But this says messages, signs, symbols, and guidance. So this week we are receiving guidance. We are receiving messages. We need to trust the messages that we're receiving. And, you know, as I said, Mercury's in Virgo, so we're very analytical, and we can be quite judgmental and even skeptical towards the spiritual messages that we're receiving. We may be getting signs on our path. We might see letters and numbers of names, or, you know, other messages of things that are trying to get through to us. You know, our spirit guides are trying to get through to us. and give us messages this week. There's a beautiful eagle flying in the background there. There's a highlight of the third eye, so you might even get visions. You know, I had a vision myself the other night, which really surprised me because I was really, really tired. I was drifting off to sleep, and I had just, I was fully awake, had my eyes closed, and that's how it happens sometimes, and I just had a vision appear in my third eye, and it was interesting. Just sort of surprised me, but it was interesting to say the least. I won't say what it is, quite personal, but it's sort of like that type of thing is being highlighted this week for some reason, so it must be the energies at the moment. And again, Uranus retrograde, the energy goes within, so we may be given messages, we may be given visions, insights this week, you know, of a very personal nature about our lives that we want to keep within, you know, or we might want to share with another person. It's up to you, whatever you feel, but these messages are coming from the divine. They're coming from your guides as reminders about your soul contract. So, you know, even there can be spirit visitation as well. So that was the reading for this week. Hope you enjoyed that. And next week I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the eclipse. I'm going to be talking about how, as part of the astrology portion of the reading, I'm going to talk about how the eclipse in Aquarius at 15 degrees is going to affect all the signs. So I'm going to go through each sign and mention just briefly how, you know, with the solar astrology, how the eclipse will affect you. So stay tuned for next week's reading for that. And have a fantastic week, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.